Hi there everybody, it's Verity from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. And today we are using the Sparkle of the Season bundle, which is part of a larger suite as well, with another stamp set and dies as well. But you can just buy the bundle on its own. The Sparkle of the Season, lovely sort of autumnal and Christmas stamp set wrapped in one. So we've just sort of passed by Halloween, and I did do a Halloween card with this particular set. And today we're going to do something a little different. The dies are really cool, look, because you get these different wreaths that you can build up on. Some extra leaves and things to embellish, and then these little dots can be formed into little holly berries. So a really nice little set there, Sparkle of the Season. The card that's my inspiration for today's video is going to be this one. So we're going to create a sort of textured wreath from the elements in there. So on this particular example I've used shaded spruce for the holly, and I brought in granny apple green for these other leaves, and then I've used Poppy Parade to stamp my Merry Christmas. So this is a starting point for what I'm going to make today. I'm going to just change things slightly by using a coloured card base. This is Evening Evergreen that we're using, which is one of the in colours that came in the summer this year. My Whisper White panel is a little smaller than normal. How big is this one? So it is 3 3/4 by 5.5, which just gives you just a little bit of an extra border, so we still see some of that Evening Evergreen cardstock on the back. And what I've done on here is I've just drawn a pencil line, which oh, there you go, you can see it. And I just used one of my circle dies to draw a very faint pencil line so that I've got something to work with. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the holly. Gonna do that. And do you know what? I think I might end up die cutting some holly berries as well, but I don't know. I might just leave it and then leave you to embellish how you like. So that's my holly, which I am going to stick with the shaded spruce because I think that's a really nice colour for the holly. So we'll do that and do all that stamping in a minute. I've got the swirl here, and I've got Evening Evergreen ink to coordinate with the card base, which I'm just going to stamp inside this circle and then build my sort of wreath around it, if you like. The idea being that this will add some interest to the centre, really. Some of it, or majority of it, might end up getting covered up by the embellishments, but we're going to put it in, and then if it shows, it's great, and if it doesn't, we haven't lost anything. Okay, so there we go, and that's all we're going to do with that for a second. So to make the wreath, what we're going to need is 8 of the holly leaves, or whichever of the foliages you want to use, or a mixture thereof. I say on that my sample there, I used both of the foliage sprigs there to create my card using shaded spruce, and then I brought in the granny apple green as a sort of lighter, fresher colour. So just stamp out your 8 leaves, okay, just like that, and then obviously those are all going to have to be die cut, so don't worry, I'm not going to die cut all of those on the screen. Just as a FYI, this one used 9 die cuts, I think. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, oh no, a bit more than that. There's more die cuts on there because the overlap is greater, and the one I'm going to do now, the leaves are more spread out. So basically you can play about with it and see what you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I do 6 of each? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I did. So there's 12 on this one to give a fuller and tighter wreath by overlapping them. Okay, so that's that one. And then I did do another one in some autumnal colours just to play about with the colours. This is why it's so plain. This is pumpkin pie and cinnamon cider, and then this is 9. So I did 2 and then a third one in cinnamon cider. So 3, 3, 3, and that made 9 to go round that. And then I just used the cinnamon cider for the sentiment. So I didn't add anything to that. These were just sort of concepts to see where I was going to go with it. So what we're going to do is pretend we've run all of those through our die cut machine several times using our die, which fits over there beautifully. Okay, so you'll run all those through. So you've got to like die cutting if you want to make a card like this. Okay, and then you will end up with obviously 8 of these leaves. Okay, which I've already got die cut here. Okay, and you can see that I've actually started to actually put them into pairs. So all I've done is used some of my Stampin' Seal and just press them together into pairs, which means putting them together is going to be a little easier. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we'll turn those over. So they're only just held in place, so there's a bit of wriggle room. Oh gosh, it's a no stick mat, and that was definitely no stick there. Right, couldn't lift it up. So what I'm going to do is add a dimensional to the sort of, not the stalk end, the leaf end of each of these little sprigs here. Oops, took the backing sheet with me on that one. And what that does is it lifts one end so that you'll get a bit more movement in your wreath. So that's what I've done with this one. You see the base of the leaves are stuck down flat, and then the tip of the leaf is on dimensionals, and I don't know whether you can see that there's a whole heap of dimension on that, just to give it a bit more movement. Okay, so that's where we are with that. And then if we bring in our, in fact actually, do you know what, I'm going to stick this on because I've found that obviously once you've put on all your bits and bobs, that's quite lumpy bumpy to try and get your adhesive on. If you're using wet adhesive, then probably not so much of a problem, but as you know, I like to use my Stampin' Seal, so running a roller adhesive over a not flat surface isn't the easiest. Okay, so I'm going to take off the dimensional backings. Yep. And so long as we don't press down hard, we've got a little bit of room to do a bit of oh, I'm putting seal on the base, have I? Just going to put some seal across the bottom of those. Could use your wet glue if you like using wet glue, then use that. All personal preference. Okay, so what I did was I used my line as my guide from that circle and just lay those leaves over the top, and say I'm not going to press down too hard until I'm happy with my layout. So just sort of doing north south, and then we'll do east and west. So stalk is going to tuck under there and go over the top of this one. It doesn't matter if it's not totally lined up. So I'm just not pressing down firmly until I'm happy. So like I say, this swirly bit in the middle was just to try and pull in something into the middle. Just to add a little bit of something. Okay, so I think, see, I haven't pressed it down, so I've still got a bit of time to move that around and make it look how I want it to. A little bit more. Okay, and just having the lift at the end just helps us get a bit of shape and interest on there. Okay, and that's how I've created my wreath. Okay, so this one is all in one colour. Now, I really like the mixed colours, so the granny apple probably wouldn't go so well with for just holly. I think it would look nice with garden green, or maybe even just jade, as a really nice combo there, or some evening evergreen maybe. They're quite close though when you stamp them out, so play around with the colours. So I've just gone monochromatic, and I've tried to make the leaves go all the way around in the same direction. You can sort of do almost like you know, like fleur-de-lis, sort of you know, like the Romans used to wear. They kind of go out and not join in the middle, so you could kind of do that kind of shape as well. So the choice is yours when it comes to how you want to embellish that. Now, I've opted to go with cherry cobbler for my red, simply because we've got a much darker, deeper sort of and richer, I should say, colour palette going on with the evening evergreen and the shaded spruce. Forgot what the colours were then. Right, I'm just looking for a scrap of cardstock to stamp this sentiment on, because that's the one thing I just didn't get out. I want something with a straight edge preferably. That's going to be too short. Yeah, that's not long enough. Ooh, ooh, look at that strip. So I've got this little tub just there that I keep all my little offcuts from, because you never know when they're going to come in handy. So just hovering that over the top of that strip there. I've got no idea how wide this is. It's just something that happened to me in my scrap box that looks like it's about the right size. I'd say it's about ½ inch. I'm just going to clean that off quickly, because I don't like red and pink ink staying on my stamps too long. Try and minimise the staining, so just bear with me a second. Good habit to get into anyway is cleaning your stamps in between times, and you'd be surprised how many inks actually have a red base to them. Even the shaded spruce has got a bit of a hint of red in it, and Night of Navy, believe it or not. If you use Night of Navy a lot, you'll see that there will be a little pink tinge, only the slightest bit, but there is red in it. So cherry cobbler, isn't that a lovely deep dark colour? Isn't that lovely? Going to grab my paper snips, which are super sharp, so then they have a little cover on them. And we're just going to cut that at an angle. And if you want to match your angle, you just slide that across to the other end and use it as a template to cut your other one. And then you've got the same angle on your thing. So again, because we've got all the texture, I want to put some dimensionals behind the middle of that. So I reckon the large ones will fit actually on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a double layer so that it lifts over the top of the dimension that's been created with the wreath. A couple of dabs of glue, and I'm going to put some on the free ends as well, so if there is some contact with the rest of the card there. I'm going to put it lower down because I'm going to add the bow to this one, just to make it look like a more traditional sort of wreath. So there we go, that's that in place, and that's going to just take a little moment or two to dry. Now, I did pull out this gold ribbon, which is from the what's that called, Blackberry Blue Beauty suite, but now I've seen that cherry cobbler on there, we've got some Merry Merlot is it Merry Merlot? Oh no, it's cherry cobbler. Oh, even better. I thought it was Merry Merlot. Okay, let's get this open. It's gorgeous, this is. Just take off that protective wrapper on there. It's got this gorgeous stuff. So it's got the cherry cobbler and the gold in it. Isn't that nice? Okay, so oh, it's quite thick as well. It's thicker than that one. Paper snips aren't really for ribbon. That was naughty of me. I should have just grabbed my other little piece there. So what we'll do, we'll use our bunny ear method. Oh, I've probably cut that too short now, haven't I? And just tie that. Isn't that gorgeous? I was convinced this was Merry Merlot, and I don't know why. Probably because it's so dark. So it's got a bit of a texture to it. So you're going to have to tie that knot's going to have to be really tight to manipulate your loops to where you want it. Keep tightening it until you get it where you want it. Oh, possibly done it a little too tight now. Oh, the trials and tribulations of bow tying, I tell you. But if you do them nicely and right, oh, they look so cool. I say it's just got this little, it's like a stiffness to it. How do you describe that? I don't really know. No, that loop's slightly bigger than that loop, which is, there we go. Hey, it's worth taking the time, in my personal opinion. Oh yeah, cool. It's going to look nice. I do have the gold here. Again, this has got a similar texture to it. It's almost like, I don't know what it's like. It's not sort of soft fabric, it's, I don't know. It's hard to describe really. I just realised you probably didn't see any of that. So that's the cherry cobbler ribbon, and that's the gold ribbon. Ooh. Yeah, let's go with the red. I get my scissors that I should use for my ribbon and cut those tails off, preferably the right length, or even, shall we say. And of course, as you know, the best thing to stick down ribbon are mini glue dots. So we'll take one of those, press one of those onto the back of that knot, just press it onto the roll, and then we can position that so it's not obscuring our lettering too much. Like so. Oh, it's cute. Still, those ends aren't even, are they? That's better. Oh, like it. Very, very lovely. Okay, so you could add berries and pine cones and stuff that are in the stamp set that is in the set, and you can die cut those as well. So cool. I'm not gonna add any more to that. Just a few little fray bits. Clean that up. So that's where we started. This was my inspiration. Granny apple green, shaded spruce and cherry cobbler. Poppy parade on that one. This one, just for fun, was cinnamon cider and pumpkin pie. So if you wanted to do something a little more autumnal using the same technique, you can. Okay, and then this is the card I've made today. So I really think these sort of muted tones have worked out really, really well. Evening evergreen for the card base, and a bit of peeking through from there. Shaded spruce for my holly, cherry cobbler ink, and the cherry cobbler ribbon, metallic ribbon. Cherry cobbler and gold metallic ribbon, that's called, which is in the mini catalogue. How super duper. Okay, love it, love it. Hope you do too. Obviously shop links are in the description. I just love seeing at the end. Do take a look. If you fancy purchasing anything, just click there and it'll take you straight to the online store. I'd love to have you as my customers. Okay, in the meantime, stay safe everybody. Take care and I'll see you again soon. Bye.